Welcome back, Josh. Hopefully everything
Thank
will stay here.
Yeah,
Tim, I think
did I lose power, but my backup internet failed me as well. So my apologies.
All good. I think we're getting ready to kick off, giving you the opportunity to let people know what ICAP is and what the program is designed for.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'll try this again. So ICAP stands for the Innovation Commercialization Assistance Program, and we're a program of George Mason University and the Virginia SBDC Network. And at its most basic level, our program is meant to provide technology and innovation-driven companies in the Commonwealth the mentorship that they need in order to get from where they are to where they want to be. So that's the short and sweet of it.
Yeah, and what's I guess the biggest piece, as I understand it, is so you have an entrepreneur, they want to start a business, and a lot of times they'll just jump into it and just start going, thinking that that's the right thing to do, which many cases it is. However, you enable them to take a step back, and you want them to talk to potential customers and get that feedback from them to find out, am I solving the problem in the right way? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, absolutely. So the kind of the ideal place to start is an entrepreneur who last night they had an idea and they drew it up on the back of a pizza box. And this morning they put it in a paragraph form and emailed me. And within our program, what we do is we use the lean startup methodology as it's taught by the National Science Foundation's ICOR program. And it is focused on validating a business model. So who is the customer? What is the need in the market? What is the value of what you're doing? And then is there a sufficiently large enough market of people who need your solution to create a viable business? And once we can confirm that, then we get into, do you have the team to execute on it? Can you build a minimal viable product that meets just the needs of what that customer has asked for? And then from there, what do you need in order to grow? So that could be, you need some partners to help you distribute, or you need a robust supply chain, or you need funding in order to move forward. So we take folks ideally from the very beginning and help guide them through the path, which we call accelerating commercialization, in order to get to the market faster by avoiding going down the wrong path because you're making assumptions about the market.
So it's interesting that you used a couple of those buzzwords, back to buzzwords, right? So target customers and making, I feel like when a customer or a business is looking at throwing out something new, right? Whether that be a product, a service, whatever, magic. They take the lean startup methodology that says, hey, go question 20, 40, 50 people that you think are your target customers. They're going to give you some sort of information. And then hopefully you can make a better business decision off of that information. Where I question that, or where I would worry about that, is how do you then recognize that that person's actually willing to become a customer, not just that they give you good business information, right? Because there's a huge difference between, hey, I'm going to give you this information, it seems feasible and right, versus, hey, actually, I'm going to give you information and I'm going to buy this thing too. Because they're very different things. And I feel like a lot of people float that line and don't get the result that they want because they go too far on one thing and they're not actually getting a credit card out and swiping that thing, if you will.
Sure, absolutely. That's a great point. So first and foremost, the idea is initially focusing on the beachhead market, that first customer. And when you do a customer discovery interview, you're not talking about your product, so you're not selling. You are asking about what they're doing related to a particular topic now. So if, we're talking about, first thing I think of is a bank and ATM. So what do we know? We can go out and we can talk to people. Hey, what do you do? We'll talk about this in the aspect of, 30 years ago. What do you do when you need money? So generally it's somebody going to a bank and they are making a withdrawal. So you ask them about that process, and then you say, all right, well, banks are open from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. What do you do outside of that? Well, I'm kind of out of luck. If it's an emergency, well, then I'll go to, a convenience store and I'll get a cash advance for, 50% interest. And so if we know that they're willing to spend 50% of the amount of money that they're taking out, then that shows that person is already spending money. It's not that they're going to spend money specifically on your product, but they know, or through that interview, that they're spending money to solve that problem. And it's a big enough problem where if they're taking out $20, they're willing to spend 10 in order to get that if it's an emergency or short term. So, looking at it from the bank's perspective, that's a pretty good incentive for them to say, hey, let's spend money on a solution that can get people to, for no cost to them, but allows them to do banking and gives them an added value for being a customer of ours, that we want to make sure that we're solving that problem for them. So rather than giving that money to a third party, we can retain that customer and maybe sell them more products because we're giving them a solution that solves a problem that they actually have.
As someone who's been directly involved within the startup community for almost a decade, I want to talk to you about a serious pain point: spending a ton of time trying to understand the business landscape in the 757. That's time that should be focused on growing the business. At Startwheel, we're here to help you by compiling all of the news you need to know about in one place. Now there's no need to search multiple websites. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.